I have a new topic.
Please.
I don't know. Is anyone here? I've never had a threesome. Is anyone here comfortable admitting that they have had a threesome in their life or denying?
Yeah, I've done that.
All right. So this guy made a Reddit post that I was going to read and discuss. It's fairly long. All the things he's learned from over 15 threesome encounters.
That's a lot.
That's a 45-some.
I'll take it. You count yourself 15 times, but I'll accept that.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's a 30-some. Still pretty admirable.
All right. So this guy is 48 now, but I would assume that he started his threesome career earlier than that. I have met couples from 25 to early 60s who've had a wide range of fetishes, domination, various roleplay, gangbang, bull, cuck, buy stuff, and I learned from a Rhode Island couple on how to approach them. Their rules at first felt constricting, but in the short term, I learned that they helped me and enabled me to have a safer time. Rule number 1, no matter what, everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. If you don't want to be, and then it's blanked out, I guess, asshole. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to meet couples or run to a successful threesome. That's the number 1 rule. I'm sorry, if you want to meet couples and run, the number 1 rule is keep your mouth shut. To that end, I never save pics, forward pics. I'm solidly protective of these people's private info. Recently, a guy sent me pics of his wife and the next day was asking if I forwarded them or jerked to them. I told him I'd already deleted them. He was pissed. The reason I do that? Rule number 1. Plus, if he's serious about meeting, he'd forward them again. There's so much free porn, who needs to save pics? 2. Go at a woman's pace, guys, not the guys. Another lesson from the great couple I met in the second encounter. Being pretty.
Can I just interject and say that this guy seems to be giving the details on a MFM threesome instead of a MFF threesome or an FMF threesome.
So this guy's talking about a devil's threesome.
Well, no,
he's jumping into a couple.
Hold on. In number 2 rule, he specifically says MFM MMF. So slash MMF. I just didn't read it because it doesn't read well. But go at the woman's pace. Being pretty tantric myself, I was fine for her getting off, to focus on her getting off. She did! ! Rather than me getting off, because I almost always go with married couples. It was easier to make it special for her. Treat the encounter as a special moment, not a cheap one. Typo there. Rule number 3: people to avoid. Anyone under 30. Friends with benefits relationships. The reason the under 30 crowd is bad for me is, well, I have skin in the game, job, reputation, etc. The under 30 crowd in many cases doesn't approach it with seriousness. They're careless about privacy and safety. They grow up with the internet and smartphones and think of it as something temporary. For the same reason I avoid the friends with benefits crowd is that I like sex by appointment. Usually one of the party is married, and they just want it quick and no chance to get to know each other. They call you at the last minute or it's scheduled. I make time for it, and then if there's a cancellation. Seriously, don't waste your time with these types. Another reason married or long-term couple is better, they're less promiscuous. Rule number 4, use instant message and then a phone chat and ask a ton of questions. I know that experienced people are better for this than newbies. Why? Experienced people want everyone to have a good time. Noobs approach it with a million jitters. Not only do I ask the person contacting me if they have experience, I give my number early on to further verify. I know that giving out my number is risky, but I tell them feel free to block your number. I rarely get someone going all the way. Instead, for all I know, the dude is jerking off to whatever we're talking about. I often ask the same question in a different way just to verify whatever's being said. A common problem you hear is that they're experienced when they're not. It's very awkward meeting a couple at the bar or room, and that is the first time you meet the woman. So what are you going to do? Start a conversation? Jump right into bed? Rule number...
Yeah. That's what they want. This guy sounds like a dude who doesn't know what he's talking about, trying really hard to know what he's talking about.
You think? I think he might be...
A lot of it sounds like common sense shit that people who are above 30 would be like, oh, of course, yeah, you want to stick with someone a little bit older, a little more mature. But
I feel like he's incredibly experienced, and he's over... Like, when he says people over 30 only, I think, well, you're probably missing out on some good sex. But,
absolutely.
He's... I'm telling you, you asked about threesomes to begin with, but this guy's something very different. His goal is
he's a swinger.
Yeah, he's sort of a
Yeah.
swinger, and he, yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, he's a swinger.
It is important to talk with the other partner. The guy will say his wife's into it, but if you haven't been able to verify that by phone or IM, then the sentence ends. The reason I want to chat with the other party in most cases is because it's just a waste of time. It's sex by appointment again. And I'm sorry, guys, but that feels cheap to me. Not every guy is such a horn dog that he'll drop everything in midday for some couple's encounter. If you want a decent person like me, I'll schedule it, shower, and drive there, and then they're willing to pay for a room too. Does that feel more like a prostitute? Why lower yourself, guys? And I don't, and you shouldn't either. Friends with benefits are a waste of time and effort. Meeting
Friends
at a bar.
with benefits are a waste of time and effort. What the fuck is he talking about? Waste of time and effort. The whole point of a friends with benefits situation is that you don't have to invest time or effort into it. You just text them and they show up, or they text you and you show up. There's not time. There's not effort. That's what a relationship
I feel
is.
like if we're talking about like getting two girls in a three-way, though, I feel like it's a lot more blown out of proportion than it is. There's only so many things you can do, and you've only got so much energy. I mean, it's a real undertaking. First of all, if your goal is to please both women, and second of all, you could be opening yourself up for all kinds of crazy, ridiculous drama, and also it's just there are a few cool things that you can do if you got both of them going down on you at the same time. You just can't duplicate that any other way.
Right.
But as far as just like fucking one of them while the other one does something to you or something, or like fucking one while she goes down on the other, like that's just that I don't need that. That's fun, but like whatever. I think it's really blown out of proportion. It's just too much effort.
So if there's a guy girl
right now if I wanted to, and I choose not to.
If there's a guy girl situation, does that kind of imply? Because if there's a guy girl situation, the guy's not typically gay, right? Guy girl, it's still just two guys focused on a girl. But if there's a guy girl, does it go without saying that the girls are a little gay?
I think it does go without saying a little bit, but girls are just like that. They can just experiment however they want. They can do whatever they want and nobody says anything. So they're more apt to try things like that.
They'll be kissing
Not
each other
necessarily
and
with,
such.
like without embracing the gay label, you know? Like they can just experiment and try things, unlike where it's like if two dudes were like, "Oh, just blow you," they would say like, "Oh,
Or even kiss.
experiment."
Or even kiss, right? If all girls did in the threesome was kiss each other, that's not really that serious. It's like no big deal. But if guys made out, like that's guys making out. That's like no joke.
Very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one of those double standards, I suppose.
But so if you've got two girls in a threesome, yeah, I think it goes without saying that girl picked that other girl too. It's not just the guy picking.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not
they chose each other a little bit.
No, not always really, because if it's a threesome that's been set up, for example, like a lot of wives will like allow their husband to have a threesome because it's sort of like his fantasy or whatever, and it's like maybe it's something she does for his birthday, for example.
A lot of wives. Is that what you think?
I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah,
I think you did. Yeah. I think you did. Like, yeah, it's pretty normal for wives to like get some other fuck buddies in.
10,000 wives.
Be surprised, it's more than that. But you know, maybe she wants another woman to come in to please her husband, but she doesn't necessarily want to do anything with her. So I think it could go both ways. But yeah, probably more often than not, the two girls are doing some stuff together. It's not. I don't think you could have as much fun if they weren't.
Do you want another rule?
Another rule?
No, there's a lot
Another
of them.
rule from this
Buy
gentleman.
cuckold roleplay BDSM stuff. Here's the thing. Use instant message to chat about this stuff. It's way easier to discuss it before meeting. More often, you'll get a dude who has a million things he wants to do in his first ever encounter, but the reality is he doesn't understand. He has to bring into the personalities into the room, and people have their own ideas. Buy stuff. Oral didn't kill me. It was so taboo. One of the things I learned about bi oral is that in a threesome...
What does that mean?
That's when a dude blows you or you blow a dude.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. It was so taboo. One of the things I learned about bi-oral is that in a threesome, when you have the woman kissing and sucking two guys, you inevitably taste the other guy's cock on her anyway. It's a fact. She doesn't mind it. He has got to be tasting me. Things happen. Remember, it's all about her anyway. All
It's
right.
not a things happen scenario.
I did not
That's
realize.
not like I eat at Panda Express and I'm like, oh, did somebody rub this orange chicken on somebody's cock?
Unless he's blowing his load in her mouth, I don't think you taste him, right? Like if I were to like lick my wrist, I wouldn't have wrist mouth.
I don't know. It depends how intense the sex is. I feel like sometimes maybe there's just a steady stream of pre-cum going on, and there's lots
could
of
be.
fluids.
See, Woody, if there was someone who rubbed their cock all over your wrist, and then you licked your wrist, I think you might have a
it's all
feeling
like
of what they're
tripping and leaving that like Spider-Man like string away from it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like you got a little bit of that. Like you might be like, oh, that's Kyle. It's like, sorry, man. And
I'd be like, do you know Kyle?
all the hairs are pulled the same direction on that same strand of viscous glue, essentially.
What was I gonna say?
Something gross.
Cool. Yeah, probably. The reason I pulled wrist out is it's often used like, what does cock taste like? It tastes like your wrist. It's just skin. Like it's not like a girl has a taste. They often say pennies, but guys.
Copper, like metallic. Yeah.
But guys, on the other hand, it's just like licking your wrist. That's what cock tastes like.
Because vagina's acidic.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's science.
it's just science.
If it's not acidic, they can get it.